And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
We are recording because now I'm irate. The time is 3:03. Recording session started at 3. Booby, bring the audience up to speed. What just happened?
We were talking about Star Wars, and The Mandalorian is no joke. It's fabulous.
Yeah, and then
showed
yeah. Spoilers.
Oh,
yeah, bitch. Okay, so we were talking about where's Miss Matinga, and I said, Booby, you text her because I always come across like a bitch. So you texted her, and what did she say?
She said, "I'm on my way. Tell Mike to chill."
Well, if I may quote Erykah Badu, Annie ain't got no pennies. Do you know that song?
No.
It's fabulous. Tried to fuck me in a
Tarot.
bathroom stall, nearly crushed me with her hairy balls. Annie don't wear no pennies. You really don't know that song?
No.
Oh, bitch, it's good. I believe it's called Annie Don't Wear No Panties
Annie don't wear no panties.
by Erykah Badu.
She's fab.
She is fab. You got
I was
me
thinking about it the other day.
Yeah, when you guys were living, you and Marvy were living down in
Yeah.
South Beach.
And, you know, I went to, there was a gentleman that stayed at the hotel that I was working at.
Oh, right, when you were turning tricks.
Right. And
Go ahead.
and he bought he was the first ever black owner of a restaurant of a 4-star restaurant called Sanctuary. Was it Sanctuary? Yeah, it was Sanctuary. Oh my God.
Or was
I
it
can't believe I
called
remember it.
Railroad?
No, no, it's called Sanctuary.
Uh-huh.
And he invited me and a guest to attend this restaurant. And the maitre d' was the maitre d' at the Raleigh Hotel restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, if you come on Monday, I'll comp you and your meal and whoever you're with. And this is a choice, restaurant, like really, really nice. There was a door scene and everything to get into this restaurant. So we get in, no problem.
Before you finish the story, I want to say I've made Matinga wait 30 seconds. And now I'm going to let her in.
Okay.
Finish the story. So there's a door scene.
There's a door scene. And so we get in and we sit down and I bring Revlon
Oh my God.
as my guest because Revlon was visiting.
Okay.
And we order and eat and kiki and we get this what do you call it? Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Invitation. I'm telling this story. That I get this invitation to see this bitch perform for the first time ever, named Erykah Badu,
Erykah Badu.
at this restaurant the following night, and I'm like, I don't know no Erykah Badu, please, please.
Like last Tuesday?
No, this was like 90 something, 94, 95. She was just becoming somebody. And she was going to perform in this restaurant. And I'm like, I'm not even coming for this, this bullshit. And then they tell me the maitre d' that was going to comp us didn't show up. So we had to pay for the meal. And we had ordered and ordered and ordered. And I couldn't let Revlon pay for this.
So you dashed before the show.
No, we should have. I paid for it, but it was so expensive that I emptied my bank account, honey, with this one meal.
Do you mind saying how much it was?
I can't even remember, but I just know that I didn't have a lot of my bank account to begin with.
Yeah,
like maybe a couple of $100.
Yeah.
Champagne.
And you got to see Erykah Badu.
No, she was performing the following night.
Then you had all that dinner and didn't even see her?
We didn't see her. We didn't get comped.
Girl, that sounds like a big old but don't.
I was pissed.
And you still don't see her.
No.
Trust me.
I take it at this point, Miss Revlon, am I frozen?
Yes, you are.
Completely frozen.
But can you hear me?
Frozen.
Weirdly enough.
It's so weird because it's weird. On my home screen, I am also frozen.
You're frozen. You know what it's like? It's like that Erykah Badu song, Annie, don't wear no panties.
But my favorite is
she's gonna keep talking while she's frozen. I love it.
Well, because it doesn't. My face doesn't change all that much after the Botox. But I will say that my favorite Erykah Badu song is "You Better Call Tyrone."
Yeah.
And I have actually said that to people. Honey, you better call Tyrone.
Now, you've heard, obviously, the live version that was super, super popular, but have you heard the album cut version?
I don't think so.
It's actually really good. It's a little more of a bop, and it has some additional lyrics towards the end.
And you better call Tyrone because she's throwing him out. Right?
Get your shit, bitch.
Now, how do I unfreeze myself, bitches?
I would say, let me try to put you in the waiting room and then
come back in.
Yeah, hold up. Let's see. Annie ain't got no panties. We'll bring it back in. This tranny, she ain't got no panties. I can't believe you don't know that song.
No.
How do you not know that song? It's good. There you
go.
Boo, the picture of you that comes up before the live picture looks really cute with the 2 earrings.
That was for Gaze in Space.
Oh.
I noticed that also that your name is now Bubella. Has it always been Bubella on screen?
No, I just put it that way just because I was feeling feminine today.
Because Annie ain't got no panties.
Bubella Darbinville.
So that's a great name. So that picture was for the Gaze in Space trading card?
Yes.
Okay, which I am really so excited to see someday, Dan. Any day now, Dan.
Any day now.
Any day now, Dan. You can come along.
Well, Dan's been very, very busy. You know, he did
Yeah.
the Wrath of Vegas weekend. He's been performing as Kiana Prime on the weekends. You know, it's been
Miss Kiana Prime.
Been a rough go for Dan. So this is Fire Chakotay. I am Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
And although, if you're listening, you can't see what we're wearing, I just have to point out Matinga's shirt. Is that evil lipstick wearing devil from that anime cartoon?
It's G-Force, baby.
G-Force, bitch.
Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets.
I was obsessed with G-Force when I was growing up.
Because the villain was kind.
Well, the villain turned out to be a
spoiler.
woman.
Spoiler.
40 years later.
I mean, you can tell by the lipstick.
She was wearing fierce, but
and the heels,
kept it like under wraps.
The cape and like the heels with the
But you were obsessed with a different anime show. You loved Star Blazer.
Starship Yamamoto.
Yes,
Starship
I was
Yamamoto.
Obsessed with yet another one, the Hanna-Barbera Laugh Olympics.
I did love. Does anyone remember Messenger or in Spanish it was Messenger Jota?
Ruth Messenger, former New York City Borough President?
No, it was like this 2 giant robots, 1 man, 1 woman, and these 2, a guy and a girl would drive the robots. The girl robot had no weapons except for breasts that were missiles.
Ay, she had torpedoes.
Do you remember? It was also an anime.
I remember.
No.
Oh, it was so good, right, Booby?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Booby.
Awesome.
Miss Booby, can you bring your camera down? Because your head looks little and tiny in the butt. There we go. We want to see you, honey. There you go. And you're wearing a homework shirt, Miss Booby.
I am.
Well, that's
Is that too low?
Well, now the top of your head's cut off, like in a transporter accident or something. There we go. Perfect. Hello.
Booby, bring your camera down, 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 down.
Way down.
Way down.
Speaking of way down, we are way down in season 5 of Star Trek Voyager, and today we are doing the episode called Course Oblivion.
Yes.
That's right.
Tell us about it, girl.
And Course Oblivion was the 17th episode of season 5, production code 213. It debuted on March 13, 1999. They were partying like crazy in the Delta Quadrant.
They were partying. Go ahead, girl.
And the episode opens up with the apparent and kind of surprise marriage of Tom and B'Elanna.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
For those of you who are not watching this pod, but actually listening to it, Michael and Boo are having a pecker war.
Oh, my philodendron!
Oh, and Michael just killed a philodendron just cause.
Oh my god, bitch! Remember I knocked this down last time. Look, the pot broke.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
But it's okay. You'll save it, right?
Oh, honey, yes. I have 3 cuttings already started.
Oh, my new drag name, Phyllis Dendron.
Phyllis Dendron, yes.
like it.
From Powdery Mildred. Miss Booby, stop that. Can we play?
Oh, but that's a cute one. That's very Day of the Dead. That was very.
I can't believe you guys made me break my plant.
Do you remember on Star Trek: The Next Generation, there was an episode in which Ashley Judd brought on this weird toy that got everybody kind of like hooked.
Yes.
Yeah. That little thing that you just put up on Screen Boo was kind of giving me that feeling. And it would get everybody high.
And it was like some crazy game that they would see in their eyes.
And you get a ball in the hoop.
Right.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, oh.
It was like some kind of orgasmic video game thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So once again, Tom and B'Elanna, who's Gilda, for the layperson that means wig.
You talking about Tom or B'Elanna?
B'Elanna.
Okay.
It's beautiful, honey. She got a dye job on it. It's really nice. Soft. It's beautiful.
It's like honey blonde.
Yeah, but it's also her wedding day.
Oh,
so they're getting married, like kind of. Yeah, they're in a relationship, but they're getting married suddenly, and they're on the holiday.
Formal dress.
Yes.
And the captain has like little sparkly things around her collar.
Yes.
Yeah, but so they're getting married in the mess hall?
In the mess. Yeah. They're getting married in the mess. And so I was, I mean, of course I've seen this episode, but the very first time I saw the episode, I was like, oh, well, that's abrupt, but I'm happy for them.
Yeah, so Captain Janeway, as the captain of the ship, is performing the ceremony, and it's the usual hokiness with like, Harry's the best friend, and
he's playing saxophone, or
he's playing the flute. Or something.
He's playing Heart and Soul. Did you recognize the song?
Give a little bit of heart and soul.
No, it's Heart and Soul.
Thomas gonna work B'Elanna's hole.
Trust.
Which one? And so Neelix has like a platter with like bags of rice.
Right.
They haven't got the memo that we throw birdseed now
now we throw birdseed.
It's more eco-friendly. And Seven is like in a red catsuit, or sort of like a burgundy catsuit.
Burgundy.
I think it's more of a burgundy.
I can't believe my plant. Anyway, so they're getting married, and it sounds like they're very close to home. They've gotten some technology, some
warp capability.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Like at one point, the captain said, Chakotay says to the captain, in 2 years, we'll fly back into the Milky Way.
Right.
If we can keep this up, because they have a new type of warp thing.
And I was like, Chakotay, you can have my Milky Way.
Trust. And I was like, honey, this is also kind of coming out of left field, but go on.
She's like, Chakotay, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Huh.
Yo, a Klondike bar, that's like a lesbian saloon up in the Arctic Circle.
It's the Klondike bar.
Oh, God, I'm terrible.
So,
all right, so they get married, but then just like they get married, and Chakotay's like, well, we're going to be home in 2 years. And Janeway's like, oh, but there's like an interstellar nebula and this, that, and the other. I don't think the crew will mind if we, take a few extra months. Bitch, get them home.
Yeah.
What is this? Let's take 3 extra months.
Yeah, but you know what? What's 3 extra months? We're getting home now in 2 years instead of 30 years.
Nah.
Yeah, it's a ship.
Instead of 30 years.
It's a ship of exploration, babe.
It's a ship of fools. Go home.
Chang, chang, chang.
Chang, chang, chang.
Now, we forgot that
I love the Pretenders.
Point, they're throwing the rice. They're throwing the rice, and the rice seems to dissolve into the floor.
Don't you talk about Harry Kim like that.
Oh!
Yeah. Although, you know what I do?
We love you, Harry.
I want to give Harry a shout out that when, B'Elanna and Tom are exchanging their vows, and Harry is looking on with such rapt attention and happiness, and it's showing on his face. And I was just saying, and the camera pans to Harry, and I'm like, oh, look at Harry, he's so happy for Tom. And then
he's
the captain,
good friend.
He's a good friend. The captain has to nudge him out of his reverie. The ring.
Ensign. The ring.
Oh,
Harry Ringo.
Harry Ringo. She's like, Harry, 7 days.
So they exchange their tepid vows, and they have this wedding ceremony without pain sticks, Klingon pain sticks.
Because per Harry, they're going to use them for the honeymoon night.
Okay. Wow.
Very
and
inappropriately.
They're saving the pain sticks for the honeymoon.
And Tom and Neelix are having a chat about their wedding night, their honeymoon night.
What the honeymoon is going to be.
And Neelix is like all creeping on it.
Yeah.
Well, he is the morale officer, and actually, I thought his idea was better than
Which one?
Tom's. Just like going to some alien world and doing like windsurfing on argon gas.
Sea.
Yeah, because like you know what, 1920 Chicago, really?
Been there,
done that.
And of course, B'Elanna throws the bouquet of flowers.
Okay, to the back of her.
Fake ass flowers.
Those
And
fake flowers.
surprise, surprise, who catches it?
7 of 9.
Miss Seven, very ineffectually.
Well, it just kind of flung. She's right behind her. Who else is going to catch it?
Right.
And Seven could care less.
But then,
and what did she say? What is the significance of this? And Tuvok says, "You don't want to know."
Yes,
basically like, honey, humans are assholes. Pay it no mind.
With his dryness.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking?
0-calorie ginger root beer.
Oh.
Because I gotta cut my calories where I can since I
Oh.
Monster Rehab. And what are you
They
drinking?
told me to go to Monster Rehab, and baby, I said no.
So.
Yeah.
I just realized that I feel so cunt today.
Feel it, bitch.
Feeling very cunty.
Feel it, honey.
Feel it.
In your honor, we're going to call this episode Cause Oblivion.
Cause Oblivion. And then, you know who's causing it?
Who's causing it?
In the next, in not maybe the very next scene, but the scene after that, Seven and B'Elanna are investigating some type of anomaly in the ship.
And there's a cute blonde ensign in the background.
No. That's
who was in a previous episode that we forgot about.
Yes. But they're crawling through a Jeffries tube, right?
Oh, yes.
Having a discussion about primitive marital mating rituals. And Miss Seven comes out and says she's not into monogamy.
Word.
She doesn't want to get married. She basically said, why limit myself to one partner for the rest of my life?
Damn right.
And I was like, holy shit, look at Seven being so progressive.
She basically says monogamy is monotony.
By marrying, one limits one's romantic interactions to a single individual, a circumstance which implies extreme monotony.
I'm glad we had this little talk.
Yeah.
I was like, work it out.
Bitch, that's so...
Honey, she is poly. And
she's poly.
She is as free as she want to be, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So Seven and B'Elanna are crawling on all fours through a Jeffries tube doggy style, talking about open relationships.
Yeah.
And mind you, it was the early 90s, like probably like 1995. So it was very daring of her.
Yeah, but completely logical. I mean, listen, if
I believe in monogamy and I believe in marriage.
I believe in children of the future. That doesn't.
I believe in love.
Listen, I say whatever works for you works for you.
Right.
Yes.
That's what works for Seven.
Right.
Exactly.
Seven.
Considering she's never had a relationship, so she really.
But that don't mean that she hasn't had pussy, dick, or whatever.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Has she?
Has she?
Has she?
What is pussy dick? Can someone explain pussy dick, please?
Well, I knew this one bitch, Annie. She ain't got no pennies. I said, oh my God. Okay, look. Before we get to the meat of it, so to say, I do want to point out that this episode was directed by Anson Williams. Who played Potsy on Happy Days.
That's correct.
Really?
Yeah.
And he has directed
the ginger?
No.
Oh, not Ralph. No. Not Ralph Mouth.
The one with Potsy, the really nice voice. The
cutie pie. Yeah, I would have done it.
Oh, down.
I was like, Potsy, honey, here's Twatsy, bitch. Get into it.
Twatsy, I like it.
Yeah.
Honey, have you seen my new movie, Koyana Twatsy?
Are you a Potsy sympathizer?
Power Quatsy?
Yes.
Potsy Quatsy?
So, B'Elanna seems edgy about going on her stupid honeymoon with Tom, and she's delaying to the last second, which is why, right after the wedding, she's in engineering.
Right.
Yeah.
And they pull open the door for the Jeffries tube, and shit looks all warped.
Wonky and
shit. Yeah. It's completely warped.
And so in rapid order, they figure out that the warp core enhancements are somehow breaking down the molecular structure of parts of the ship and the crew, because B'Elanna goes home to her pad, okay,
Right.
and she suddenly feels, I guess, warm, cold. What did she say?
Cold.
Old.
She's cold.
To her big ass quarters.
Right.
Those quarters are so big.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Like,
say.
who the hell gets quarters that big?
And she's feeling chilly. She's like, computer, I demand that you raise the temperature now.
5 degrees, darling.
And then she goes into the bathroom and looks in the mirror. And I just want to say what it made me think of was one of my rules for like when I used to get high. Never look in the mirror. Don't look in the mirror.
Yep.
And I was having mescaline flashbacks this whole episode.
Yeah.
Honey, don't look in the mirror if you're in the throes of some kind of party drug or whatever. And also, you better have sunglasses, chapstick, and gum. But so she's looking in the mirror.
Piece of gum.
A piece of gum.
Piece of
What?
gum? What?
And
Not
so
a piece of butt.
Her face is like flaking.
Yeah.
A warping.
So then we're in sick bay, and B'Elanna ain't looking good.
No.
She's on a bio bed, and she kind of looks like melting-ish.
Yeah.
Like she's got glue stuck up on her face.
Right.
That her molecular cohesion is starting to unravel.
Gasping.
She's gasping, and Tom is by her side, describing the honeymoon that they're going to take to Chicago in the 1920s.
The rest of sickbay is also full.
Right. So
others.
There's an epidemic of this thing happening.
Right.
And I want to say that, Matinka, you were right that the honeymoon that Tom selected sounds absolutely fucking whack.
6 days and 7 nights, beautiful downtown Chicago, circa 1928. We'll take a drive up Michigan Avenue in a vintage Duesenberg.
Flappers and the Charleston and
his obsession with the past. It's like if someone said to me, oh, let's go back to the 1600s and I'll give you diphtheria. Ooh, fun.
Yeah, or like to the 1600s so I can use a fucking chamber pot on my fucking honeymoon.
Exactly.
and put on a chastity belt.
Exactly. Yeah. It does not sound cute. And she's like, what am I wearing? What am I drinking? Is there champagne? And he's gagging, and then the doctor comes over, and then boop, B'Elanna dies.
B'Elanna dies.
Dead. Dead,
No,
dead,
girl.
dead.
Dead,
Now, my
dead.
Doctor? We've lost her. We can't just let her die! Return to your quarters. No!
Now, mind you, we, at this point, perhaps only the most astute of Voyager fans might have figured out what's going on. But for like the rest of us, we're like, oh shit, B'Elanna just died.
Right, dramatic episode, a wedding, and then they kill her.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, the doctors figured out that it's the warp field that is damaging their molecular cohesion. So they stopped that particular warp field, that enhanced warp field, but they're still falling apart. And they are working toward trying to find an answer, because not only are they falling apart molecularly, the ship is falling apart. They are not going to make it home. And so
the captain's starting to get like a
very slight
jawline.
Jawline, yes.
A little jaw contour.
Yeah, jaw.
And so we come to a scene where Tuvok and Chakotay are in astrometrics going through the backlog, because they think, did we come into contact with a species or a thing that might be making this happen? Because they're able to suss out anything that they've replicated or is Starfleet that came with them to the Delta Quadrant is starting to fall apart. But
because
anything
Neelix
that they
has some shit that is not falling apart.
Right, that like everything's but anything that they got
imported,
imported or traded for, those things are holding on. So they're in the in astrometrics trying to figure out what is it that we were exposed to. And so finally they're going back and back and back, and finally 11 months before they are at this point, they had reached a Class Y planet that they referred to as the Demon Planet. A Class Y planet is a planet, any planet in the solar system that is above 500 kelvins in temperature. That's 444 degrees, by the way, and also toxic, no breathable atmosphere. 444 degrees.
It's 5,000 kelvins.
Is 500 Kelvin.
500 kelvins.
500 Kelvin.
Okay.
By the way, 500 Kelvin is also a drag queen that we knew in Long Island.
It's 500
Kelvin.
Yeah. She didn't like it when I put change in her bra when she was performing as a
But
chick.
honey, she was working in the 80s. No, she was living in the 80s.
Working for the 90s.
Working for the 90s. I doubted that she lived to the aughts.
Well, Miss Kilfield?
Highly doubt it. Highly.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Because she was way older. Wasn't she way older than us?
She was about your age. So so they figure out that anything that is being replicated is deteriorating. The crew is deteriorating. Things they picked up along the way are fine. And then suddenly it hits Tuvok that in that demon planet visit that they had made, what happens? And by the way, it was at this point in the episode that I was like, oh, fuck. This is a sequel to the episode Demon Planet that we didn't cover.
That's right. And that particular episode is just called Demon, but they refer to the planet as the Demon Planet. And in that episode, they come across this Demon Planet. This planet is very hard to explore because it's 444 degrees and there's no breathable atmosphere.
Or 500 Kelvin.
Or 500 Kelvin. So they send Ensign Kim and Tom down to the planet to mine some deuterium. But what they come across... To mind you the deuterium, but what they find is the silver blood, and the silver blood has quite a bit of deuterium in it. But as it turns out, it is also a life form, not a sentient life form, but a life form.
It's biomimetic fluid, darling.
It's biomimetic fluid, and what happens is this biomimetic fluid copies the entire crew of Voyager.
The planet possessed a biomimetic compound. The silver blood. It sampled our DNA and created duplicates of the entire crew.
With the permission of the captain, and become duplicates.
And why did she let them do it?
Because this fluid had been alive, but not sentient. Okay. But when Harry fell into the fluid, they copied Harry and suddenly realized that there is more to existence. There's more than being a pile of goo in this hole on a planet.
Is there, though?
Is that Odo's people?
No.
No.
Or is it? No.
No.
That'd be the Gamma Quadrant, right?
That'd be the Gamma Quadrant, exactly. But it's similar.
Very similar.
But similar. So anyway, but that's what happens, and then Voyager goes on its merry way. But what has happened here is that those life forms, those biomimetic life forms that they left on the planet with a copy of the Voyager as well, by the way. They copied Voyager as well. Forget for some reason that they're copies and lift off and try and go back to Earth. And so
Tuvok realizes that they are in fact duplicate Voyager crew.
We are all duplicates. None of us are real.
That they are the copies. They are.
How does he know this? How do they affirm this? By sticking something in B'Elanna's neck that
melts down.
That makes her melt down.
Oh, she turns into goo.
She turns into goo, and not Peggy goo, not the fetus goo.
Not Peggy goo, honey. She melts way down, and they're like, okay, so whatever this, adrenochrome or whatever was in her blood,
the silver blood.
Yeah, the silver blood. So they figure out, oh shit, we are the copy from the demon planet.
Right.
And Janeway's like, what about it? She's like, what about it?
But the doctor also figures out, how do we reverse this? We go back to the planet. We need to go back to the planet. We're too far away from the planet, and that's why, something about the atmosphere of the planet was keeping everything together. But the captain, who of course believes herself, knows that now she is a biomimetic life form, but also has all the memories and the intent and the drive of Captain Catherine Janeway, wants to keep continuing to Earth, which I thought, another crazy decision. By Psycho Janeway. The hell?
I was going to say, she refuses to believe that she is a copy. I was born in Indiana. Right. I remember graduating from the academy. I remember, so she's stubborn to believe that she's actually a copy.
I was born on Earth in Indiana. I remember growing up there. I remember graduating from the academy. I have no memory of being a copy.
But even when she does accept that she's a copy, she's like, well, fuck it.
We're going back to Earth.
Right. The other Voyager could be destroyed or already, 10,000 miles away. We don't know where they are. We could be all that's left of them. We're going home.
But then also somebody says something interesting. I forget who, but I think it's Tom to Kim. Do you think if we get back to Earth and the real Ensign Kim is there, that they're going to, that his parents are going to accept you into their lives like their son?
Right.
Like, you're not their son. You're not Ensign Harry Kim. I'm not Tom. Like,
Tom
this
is
is
making some good points.
He's making
Yes, he
great
is.
points. And even Chakotay takes her aside and says, Catherine, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. This is crazy. We've got to go back. And I remember thinking in that moment, I thought to myself, honey, go back to the planet, procreate, create technology and starships that will support your life form in interstellar travel, because they've already got warp technology.
Right.
Like, it was such a crazy decision.
Well, but here's the thing. Copy of Tom is in mourning for copy of B'Elanna, but also like that wasn't even B'Elanna. And also he's like, fuck the captain. Why listen to her? She's not even the captain.
You don't have to do everything the captain says anymore. Hell, she's not even the captain.
He
So
turns
he's-
into old Tom.
He turns into old Tom.
He turns into old Tom, bad Tom.
It's interesting what it does to people. Like, it brings out that part of Tom that's like still like, you know, a bad boy and a mock
A doubt.
And a rebel.
and a rebel and, you know, and my lover and all of that. And it kind of boils Janeway down to her single-minded, crazy essence.
Yes.
Like, when Chakotay says we lost another 3 people, she doesn't even blink. She's
Nope.
unbothered.
Unbothered.
She's like, we're going home, as her skin fucking flakes off.
And I just think it's such a crazy decision. And I mean, am I alone here in think like, didn't you find this episode sort of heartbreaking?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Because we think that this is the Voyager crew. It's only 20 minutes in that we realize or find out that, oh no, this is the copy.
But but even at the end, I mourned for the biomimetic crew.
I
I did.
But also your point about going back to the planet and they have warp technology and everything. But when they go back to that planet, they might not be sentient again. They might
Of
just
course.
revert. They might
No.
revert back to their goo.
No, because they were already sentient, and when Voyager left, they were people already. Like, as you in that episode of Demon Planet, as the Voyager flies off, you see them all walking
people.
around.
Right.
You see them. They're all like, so honey, procreate, create a world,
But
and then it was
but
just
she's back to her core mission
her
of
core,
get this crew home.
to this core.
If time is of the essence,
Word.
then do you think that they would have made it back to that planet in time?
No.
If they had made
If they had
the
left
moment-
when they realized that they were copies,
Yes.
instead of prolonging it, like the captain was doing, do
They
you think
would've-
that they would have gotten to the planet in time?
Well, because the
ooh,
first
they
thing,
would have made it.
the first thing they try to do is find another Y-class planet,
right.
but the resident aliens there don't let them land.
They don't like them.
They don't like them.
Also, I just want to say, just a silly little aside, her and Chakotay have dinner, and she makes him chicken paprikash. She's always making him interesting
Again.
things. The other time it was
Chicken punani.
It was some other chicken dish.
My
Chicken
grandmother's
paprikash.
right.
This is chicken paprikash is a real thing. It is a Hungarian dish that I've had many, many times. It's delicious. The last time she made him an Indian dish.
Right. You're right.
And when he disagrees with her, she's like, maybe this dinner wasn't such a good idea.
For all we know, we're supposed to be living their lives.
That's a pretty big assumption, and it's putting this crew in danger.
Maybe this dinner wasn't such a good idea after all.
Well, because he's like, we need to turn tail.
But she's getting cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Down.
And now mind you, everyone is starting to look like a radiation victim.
Like fees.
They all
Yeah.
look like they're working some kind of gross Korean mud mask.
Like at one point, I couldn't continue watching because I just thought it was gross. I was kind of grossed out by it.
Even
so I
like
kept on playing my
Seven's
phone.
gorgeous. It looks like some giant alien sneezed on her face.
Well, her eyes kind of like down.
Janeway-
Yeah.
And it's
Janeway's
really, really
eye.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody be dying.
I guess Tuvok dies at some point because then suddenly he's not there.
We
Right.
never see him again.
Chakotay definitely dies.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, and then they're down to Janeway, Seven, Harry,
Kim.
and a couple of randos, and they're
And-
trying to get back to their to their home world, the demon planet.
But the ship
And-
is flying apart.
Will when they get back, will B'Elanna come back to life?
Oh no, she did.
No, she gone.
They're
And
dead.
the captain has ordered all of the personal logs and everything to be downloaded in a time capsule. Because
Time capsule created by materials not of the biomimetic variety,
Right.
like using real materials that they assembled.
Because
So-
whatever
and-
they've accomplished, she wants it remembered.
Yeah,
Right.
logs and personal logs and achievements and all of this stuff,
Right.
so that like if they don't make it home, their lives, those lives counted for however
Right.
long they were there.
Right. But ship systems are failing. People are dying. They're all looking mud masky gross. And especially in that ready room meeting. And Janeway's like
She's
nodding
talking
out.
like this.
She's like, I just want you to know this.
I wish I could say pecan pie correctly.
Why is he dirty?
Off we go.
Captain.
All right, I just... I'm a little tired.
Coffee edition Nebula. Yeah, she's like stroking out, yo.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
in short order, she dies.
But you know what? She dies on the captain's chair.
She
Yes.
dies on the bridge.
On the bridge.
After having
After
almost-
some drama.
what was
After
the drama?
some drama.
There's some shit happening where
Well, Chakotay dies.
7 of 9 has to be on top of things and
Right.
Harry
And even
Kim's-
And
She's
it reinforced the structural integrity field.
right.
But
again.
notice that their uniforms aren't deteriorating.
Right.
The
It's just
uniforms
their
are
face.
completely
And-
intact.
And that their hands are utterly perfect because in that meeting she touches
Right.
Neelix's hand,
Right.
and both their hands are perfect.
Right, right,
Yeah, because who has time to make up the hands?
right. But
Right.
they're all gagging, and then Janeway dies, and then Seven and Harry are basically the last two standing. And the ship is just falling apart, falling apart, falling apart. They send a distress call. They're trying to launch the time capsule. They kind of realize they're not going to get back to their home world.
They find the original Voyager,
Right, and they're like
and they're racing toward it.
they're racing toward it, and then there's an explosion in engineering.
They
and
try to send the buoy.
Seven. Oh, right,
The
Seven
buoy.
says impossible. It no longer exists.
The buoy existed, but the systems around it failed and destroyed the buoy.
So they can't send the time capsule, and then Seven dies,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
it's just Harry.
On the bridge, racing toward Voyager. I don't know why. Because
But
at
it
this
seemed,
point,
but,
this is-
but I got caught up in it. I was like, oh, I hope they get to them.
I
me
got caught up
too.
in the
Me
drama.
too.
And then we cut to actual Voyager
Right.
responding to the distress call of, unbeknownst to them, duplicate Voyager.
Duplicate Voyager.
And honey, they're trying to make haste because they're like, yo, somebody's in trouble.
We got to
Yeah.
help.
Drop to impulse. Are the rescue teams ready? Bridge to sick bay. Stand by for casualties.
But by the time they get there, all that's left is
Some debris.
a smattering of biomimetic debris.
A smatter of matter, as Booby
A
would
smatter
say.
of matter, darling.
Now, mind you, they didn't get to send the buoy, so their existence
Wiped.
wiped.
Clean.
Completely
Wiped.
wiped. And and the bridge crew on Voyager is a little like, oh, well, these people needed help and we didn't get here in time. That
So
sucks.
sad.
Yeah, but the captain looks a little haunted. Doesn't she look haunted?
Like a little more than necessary.
Right.
Yeah, Leah, like I don't know what she was feeling, but like she's just kind of like,
Maybe
what
she had a
happened
connection.
here? Yeah, it was really maybe a little more than necessary, but maybe she's just like, I had a chance to save people and I didn't.
Right.
But I think what made her feel haunted was they got to a ship that sent out a distress call. They didn't make it in time. All the people in on that ship that she doesn't know passed away, and it probably reminded her, we're on a ship
Right.
traveling through space.
Right.
All these lives are in my care.
Right.
And she probably thought like, dang, like it
That's
just
dang.
it's probably real.
Dang it.
I mean, maybe.
Dang it.
Maybe
Dang it.
she sensed a great disturbance in the Force, as if 143 voices were silenced.
Right.
Or
But that's no moon.
That's no moon. And I said, what you talk about? That's my moon. He said, a
That's
lot
my
of
moon,
craters
baby.
on that moon. Ain't no life on that moon.
Honey, but excuse me, I think I just saw Sailor Moon.
So the episode ends on a sad note. Duplicate Voyager, they're gone.
Yo, I felt
Yo.
bad. Yo. I
I
felt
did-
bad.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did feel bad because I felt bad for them because as far as they knew, they were the Voyager crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
And
even
they
after
followed
knew,
the rules down to the T to the end.
she did not destroy that alien ship that was coming for her on
Right.
that planet.
They could have and gotten back on that planet.
Right. So they were still the same people. Even though they were copies, you felt bad for them because they still had the same core.
Ethics.
Yeah, the same ethics, the same. They were the same, just
Right.
copies.
And had they been able to continue to exist, eventually they would have become their own individuals because
Right.
their life experience would be different.
What
Right.
would
And
have
then-
happened if both ships made it back to Earth?
Ooh,
Ciao.
it would have been drama. But that's why I'm saying that, like, Starfleet would be like, ooh,
Ooh, ciao.
Ooh, ciao.
You
but
gotta
so
earn
that's-
your place, know your spot.
and so that's why I'm saying, like, if they had just the
Why is she
second
in
they
that
figured out
cage?
that the second they figured out what was going on.
Meat and potatoes.
What's that from?
Female trouble.
Female
Oh,
trouble.
female trouble.
Why is she in that cage?
Taffy, I'll give you a cookie.
I'd like 2 chicken legs, please.
And I'll have an extremely large glass of ice water. Okay,
So I'm
so
afraid we didn't make chicken legs. We made spaghetti today.
I
Could we
couldn't
look
possibly-
Italian?
Okay, so
That
okay,
came out perfect, Boo.
it did.
Listen, if they had gone back to their planet, they could have built an incredible civilization.
Right.
And that's the sad part, that they had a chance
And
they
didn't make it.
and they blew it. They didn't make it. And it's
There's nothing
sad.
left at that planet but goo.
There's nothing but goo, yeah. Unless there's nothing to say that, like, now that the goo had experienced sentience,
Right.
perhaps
It created other bodies.
That happened to me
created
at the
other
ramrod.
sentience, yeah.
I said, "Oh my
That-
God, this goo is sentient.
Oh my God, I think this goo is alive.
It know
just,
what it
It just
want.
copied my finger.
It's making plans."
Peggy Goo?
Peggy Goo, is that you?
Is that you?
Before we give our ratings for this episode, let's read a review, shall we, from Apple Music or iTunes or whatever they call it now. So this is from Anne-Marie Tututu. Haven't stopped laughing since I found this. So good. I've been the first. Oh, I binged the
Seen.
first 12 eps in one day. You had me at deviled eggs and a Mrs. Kravitz army. Thank you for increasing the quality of my life immensely. Thank
Aw.
you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
So if you are listening to this on Apple Podcast, please do leave a review and maybe we'll read it on the air.
Yeah.
And also, you know, while we may be niche, you don't need to be a gay dude or even a sci-fi fan or even a fan of Voyager
Or even
To-
sentient.
or to enjoy
you
Fire
could be a pile
Chakotay.
of goo.
You could be a pile of goo.
You could be Peggy Goo.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 5
Piles of
biomimetic
goo.
blobs, piles of goo, I'm going to have to give this a 2. I'm going to
Wow.
have to give it a 2 because ultimately it's an episode that leads nowhere. And the fact that it
And
was
has nothing to do with the greater continuity.
yeah, and like I enjoyed it, but I was also like, for real? I'm going to give it a 2.
You know what? I seriously enjoyed this episode. It actually made me feel something. You know, that's what you want art to do. You want it to make you feel something. And I'm going to give it a 4 Loyola Roots.
Oh,
I really loved it. I really enjoyed it.
that's the
Yeah.
equivalent of 500 Kelvins.
It's trust, 444 degrees.
I'm
I am
gagging.
also going to give it a 4. I
Mark,
really enjoyed it.
It was so good. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
I
too.
really felt for them, and
Yeah.
when Balana died and Chakotay died, I was really sad.
It was tragic.
It was tragic. Wow. I have to say that, and I respect your opinions. We are diverging more and more as we go along.
The last 3 episodes, we have been so diverged.
Interesting. But you know what? But that's what brings the frisson
The frisson.
to Fire Chakotay. I did have a good idea for merch while watching this episode because after Janeway dies, some of them, the remaining crew, are having discussion. They're like, well, what would Captain Janeway do? Blah, blah, blah. Let's make bracelets that say, what would Janeway do? Like, what would Jesus do? Those bracelets,
Right.
remember
I
those?
love
Right.
But like, you know, and then like they could be like personalized, like maybe like on the other side it says pecan pie.
that. I like
Or-
that.
Yeah.
How about
Picture of her
how about-
waves.
How about how about a T-shirt of her in the ready room, the last ready room where she's all
Where she's gagging.
right? And then on the bottom it just says Janeway Goo.
Janeway Goo.
And on the back, Fire Chakotay.
Right. What would Janeway Goo?
What would Janeway Goo?
Yes.
Happy holidays. Thanks for watching Fire Chakotay. This is Booby.
This is Miss Matinga.
This is Peggy Goo, and I hate you. I hate this house, and I hate Christmas.